This is a stimulus check update and daily news report, and there is a huge push for more stimulus. 5 Senate Democrats are pushing to renew monthly checks. We'll talk about the $15,000 stimulus check. One new city is launching the $500 monthly check UBI program. Inflation is affecting grocery stores with high prices, but also another area of the food market. And there is a new COVID variant that just entered the US, and I'll give you some other important updates as well. Hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday. If you appreciate the fact-based, fast-paced updates, hit the like button down below, and I'm giving $200 to my subscribers. I'm announcing the winners tomorrow, so you still have just today to enter, so I have details to that down in the description below. First, Omicron's new variant cousin, BA2, has arrived in the US, but don't panic yet, experts say. So, cases of Omicron BA2 have been reported in at least 4 states, California, New Mexico, Texas, and Washington, and another 3 continents. The new variant, like the original Omicron, has lots of mutations, including about 20 in the region targeted by most COVID-19 vaccines. So not only is there a new COVID variant, but it looks like there's a new Omicron variant as well. They're saying it's not any different in terms of severity in affecting people and causing more hospitalizations, things like that. It's basically the same as Omicron, I guess, just a different mutation of it. This thing just keeps mutating and mutating. So Biden administration to withdraw COVID-19 vaccination and testing regulation aimed at large businesses. So I think it was a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, when President Biden made the huge vaccine mandate announcement. And since then, the federal court, Supreme judges have been blocking a lot of those vaccine mandates. So Biden administration is withdrawing its COVID-19 vaccination and testing regulation aimed at large businesses following the Supreme Court's decision to block the rule earlier this month. U.S. Department of Education, Occupational Safety, and Health Administration said Tuesday it will be withdrawing the vaccination and testing emergency temporary standard for businesses with 100 or more employees. So looks like the President Biden in the White House is backtracking from those vaccine mandates. Is this a good thing or bad thing? Also, I mentioned yesterday how President Biden kind of slipped up and called the reporter a bad name.
Stupid son of a...
Here is a tense exchange between Peter Doocy, which was that reporter that President Biden called a bad name, and Jen Psaki, White House press secretary. Take a look at their interaction right here.
On Ukraine, President Biden met with Putin in person in June in Geneva, and afterwards he came out and he said that the two of them arrived at a conclusion. He said, it's clearly not in anybody's interest, your countries or mine, for us to be in a situation where we're in a new Cold War, and I truly believe he thinks that he understands that. Has the president changed his opinion about what Putin thinks?
How are you suggesting we're in a new Cold War?
I'm just asking, it seems like the president thought in June that things were going to be good, and right now things are not looking good.
I don't actually think that's at all what the president said. He gave an extensive press conference where he conveyed it wouldn't happen overnight, and that there was work that we could do together. And that is something that's how you approach a diplomatic relationship. You are vocal, there are consequences when you disagree and when you have strong concerns, and you've seen us implement those. You still look for places and areas where you can work together. That remains how we're working with Russia.
Okay, there's a BuzzFeed report now suggesting that the Ukrainian government is upset the U.S. pulled citizens out of Ukraine before many other countries did. And this report says that a source close to the Ukrainian president thinks those Americans are safer in Kyiv than in Los Angeles. What do you make of that?
Well, we're always going to make decisions that are in the security interests of people who are serving as diplomats around the world. And we have assessments that are made by the State Department, hence the decision and the announcement made over the last couple of days, and the fact that we put in a level 4 advisory back in October, conveying very clearly to Americans they should leave Ukraine. Look, I will let others assess, but there are 100,000 troops, Russian troops, on the border of Ukraine, and no clarity that the leader of Russia doesn't intend to invade. That sounds pretty dangerous to me. I would also say that the Ukrainian leaders have welcomed the security assistance, and they've even met us at the airport that we have been providing over the course of the last several days. So that seems to be contradicting that assessment.
Okay, and then last one. The Secretary of State a few days ago tweeted, hashtag stand with Ukraine. Has that ever worked at stopping an authoritarian regime from doing anything? A hashtag?
I will have to say that unlike the last administration, we don't think Twitter is the only means of engaging or negotiating or discussing important topics. But it is important for us to convey to the Ukrainian people who do view commentary through a range of forums. I don't know how many are Fox News watchers, maybe some of them, and including social media, that we stand with them, we support them. And that includes in their efforts to protect the sovereignty of their country. Go ahead.
What are your thoughts on that? Things got a little tense there. Also, the topics they were talking about is pretty crazy too. So, 5 Senate Democrats urge Biden to renew monthly checks to parents as the program is in danger of getting dropped from his social spending bill. So basically, a group of Senate Democrats want Biden to keep the expanded child tax credit in the Build Back Better. The senators warned of a spike in child poverty if the program isn't renewed in the future. Senator Joe Manchin has pummeled the program and listed objections to it. So the child tax credit is what they're talking about. It was a letter by Senator Ron Wyden, Michael Bennet, Sherrod Brown, Raphael Warnock, and Cory Booker. So they're trying to push for the child tax credit, which is nowhere to be seen. I'm curious why they don't just have a standalone bill for the child tax credit since it's so important. And we already missed the 15th, probably going to miss February 15th as well. So we'll see what happens with that. What they're saying here is the consequences of failing to extend the child tax credit expansion are dire, particularly as families face another wave of COVID-19 pandemic. Without the expanded credit, nearly 10 million children will be thrown back into or deeper into poverty this winter, increasing monthly child poverty rate from 12% to at least 17%. So a big push for that. We'll see what happens. Build Back Better still hasn't been rebranded or renamed or done up yet. So $15,775 stimulus check. What is that talking about? Also, child tax credits are about to be released. So talking about with tax returns. So I mentioned an article similar to this. So basically, if you claim all this, it could equal up to $15,000. So stimulus check of $1,400. You have a few different family members that could add up. General tax refund, $2,775, which it depends on the person. That's not guaranteed you're going to get that. Child tax credit, $3,600 for younger kids, $3,000 for older kids, and then the $8,000 child care and dependent credit. So if you add all those up, depending on the family, it could be $15,000. I mentioned an article, I think it was $22,000. So moving on, let's talk about a new guaranteed $500 monthly program. So this is another guaranteed income UBI program. This is going on in Long Beach. So the mayor said, we launch our $500 a month guaranteed income program and applications for single moms and parents in a few weeks in Long Beach. So if you live in Long Beach, California, and you're a single mom, you could get and cash coming. Next round of $1,657 Social Security payments for 2022 to be sent tomorrow. Here's how COLA boosted your monthly cash. So although it says tomorrow, it's actually today, the 26th. This article came out on the 25th. So basically, if you collect Social Security payments, the average highest amount is $1,657. Of course, it's going to depend on every person collecting Social Security and a few different factors there, but that is the highest. So yeah, that's going to go out today for anybody whose birthday was between the 20th and onward of the month. Checks go out today, the 26th. Then also, inflation surging food prices put a pinch on local food banks. So not just local food banks, grocery stores, but also fast food restaurants as well. Take a look at what this has to say.
Whether you're grabbing a bite to eat or supermarket shopping, everybody's shelling out more cash these days. And just as we're seeing value meals return to some fast food menus, rising food and labor costs are leading many chains to also hike prices. Little Caesars raising the price of its signature hot and ready pizza for the first time in 2 decades, from $5 to $5.55. At Popeyes, you'll now pay $1 more if you order the popular big box deal in person. And Domino's Pizza, also looking to drive digital growth, announcing that its classic $7.99 deal will only be offered online, and you'll only get 8 wings instead of 10.
These cost increases are certainly tough to absorb. We are taking some pricing actions, this year relative to our national offers, and our franchisees at the local level have tools to adjust their menu prices and their delivery fees.
The ongoing supply chain crisis is also impacting menus. On Chick-fil-A's app, this warning to customers that some menu items may be unavailable or prepared differently. Inflation is also taking a toll on sit-down dining. Jelaine Upwin is the owner of Max Downtown in El Paso, Texas.
The prices have tripled. It's outrageous.
Even buying the basics is a challenge.
It's ridiculous that we can't go to Sam's and get ketchup because they're out of ketchup for weeks at a time. It took me 2 months to get straws. I couldn't get straws, individually packaged straws. I was like, what do you mean I can't get straws?
The cost of eating at home is soaring. Groceries, or the Food at Home Index, rose 6.5% in 2021. That's the largest year-over-year increase in 13 years. And many big food manufacturers, including General Mills and Campbell Soup, predict more price hikes later this month. Empty shelves and rising costs are leading to a growing demand for store-brand items, less costly and sometimes more available.
Until we have the pandemic behind us and until we take the steps we need to make the supply chains resilient for the long term, we're going to continue to face issues any given month.
I mean, so tell them, the supply chain issues notwithstanding, labor shortages, what do we know about the effect that might be having on the cost?
Absolutely. You know, we're seeing millions of Americans quit their jobs during the so-called Great Resignation. And companies are scrambling to offer higher wages in order to staff up. Oftentimes, though, those costs get passed down to all of us who are really trying to buy something, right, in the form of what we're paying, especially for restaurants where the margins are already very, very thin. So they can't afford to eat those extra costs. As a result, you and I are going to be paying more for that burger, the taco, the soda, whatever the case may be. Don't mean to make you hungry, though, so early in the morning.
Too late.
With the rising food prices, what have you been doing? Have you been going more grocery shopping, more fast food? Here, like Dollar Tree shopping is pretty popular now, too, to get meals at the Dollar Tree. Yeah, so hopefully things get better soon, at least with inflation, or there's some type of food aid that a lot more people can benefit from. Anyways, that is all the news that I have for you today to hopefully cheer you up a bit. Here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Hi guys, this is Bella. This is the tip of the day. I tell you the one thing that you should do. When you make something dirty, you have to clean it up, or ask someone to help you. Like, if you made something like really dirty, you have to clean it up. And also sometimes I made a really big mess, like put wax on my mom's lens. She was pretty mad about that. So we tried to clean it up, but we couldn't. And my sister made really bad mistakes. And also, sometimes we had to clean it up after her, but it's fine. It doesn't matter when we have to clean up. We always have to focus on the positivity, and it doesn't matter. So that's all the things I wanted to tell you for today. Bye.
Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate all of your support. As I mentioned before, today is the last day to sign up for the $200 or to potentially win the $200 that I'm giving out to my subscribers. So yeah, check that out. And all is good with the kids. We were on the tricycle yesterday and the scooter, riding all over the place, trying to enjoy the somewhat milder weather. I think it's going back down to the 30s today, which is pretty cold for South Carolina. Hopefully you're having a great and amazing day. If you want to check out my latest Wise Buys video, you could click up here, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.